let's tell the audience, what is your nickname?
By and large, it's Poddy. Poddy. Although, recently...
Most people are calling you Peter.
Yeah, it switched back. And I want to put it on the record. I didn't ask for that. Not directly.
Agree to disagree, but yeah, okay. You were pretty clear that you weren't as keen. You prefer Peter. And you made it very clear to a lot of people.
Yeah, fair.
But... Yeah. Let's ignore that fact that you requested your nickname to change. It was Potty.
Poddy. So we're in Torquay at the retreat, and I was filming podcasts with most of the team, or most of the advisors, every morning and evening, and it was really good. And Trent, who I pretty much met for the first time there, called me Podcast P. Yes. And I thought that was really funny. So, Justin B-roll, put it in, Paul George, he has a podcast, they call him Podcast P. So Podcast P. I thought that was good. That was great.
Yeah, it's good.
And then in typical Phil style...
I think... Oh, okay, yeah, go. You tell the story.
I think somewhere in there, between the Monopoly and the games, it went from Podcast P to Poddy P to Poddy. And then it was either that evening or another evening, it went to Potty, as in like toilet.
And you went like this, no, don't call me Potty. Hey there, I'm Phil, and here I've got another interview with one of our teammates. We've got Peter Bradbury. Hey, Peter, how you doing?
Good, Phil. Thanks for being here.
So, Peter, what's your role here at Skye?
I am the content manager, or digital content manager. So I oversee the marketing team. It's good fun.
Yeah, cool. And talk to me, how long have you been here?
2 months and 1 week.
Great.
Yeah.
And talk to me about like the interview. So before you joined Skye, what was the interview process? How did that all go?
I remember originally I had to send a video, and I thought that was really cool. That right off the bat, I was like, all right, these guys are into technology, into content, just doing it that way. And then from there, I think we had like a Teams meeting. It was just me and you, and I couldn't get a vibe of you at all. I couldn't tell. And I remember like the interview going okay, but I didn't think I got the job. I was like, it's just not meant to be. And then I got a call, and it's like, we want to do another interview with Taz. And I was like, okay. And then between that was like a IQ test as well, which I thought
there you go.
Yeah.
I won't tell you your scores because
I don't think it was good.
No, well, it's not an IQ test. It's a competency test. It's just like how competent are you in thinking about marketing and thinking about different things.
And like ethical stuff as well. It was like, what would you do if you use AI and you were found for using AI and didn't disclose it and that sort of stuff. So I respected that. Yeah. It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And then, so from my point of view, you've sat over there when I've interviewed a few other people, and so now the way I interview people is I try and come off as cold and abrasive.
Yeah.
Because not that I hope we're not that way as a workplace, but you're going to come up with challenges, so it's always good to push that. But from my point of view, I got recommended to reach out to you because of one of my good mates. You'd interviewed with them and. He's like, yeah, I reckon he'd be a great fit for the business. So I was kind of half sold anyway before the first interview because Ben basically said, yeah, you should hire him. And then, first interview, I thought it was good. And then, obviously Taz, and then we offered you the job. So now you're here. You got the job. You started. Yeah. So actually, before we talk about your time here, what were you doing before Skye?
Similar role, but like a lot of companies, COVID kind of took its toll. Yeah. So the team was reduced down to just me, which was fun. Yeah. I was pretty much wearing every hat. So I was doing video editing, graphics, web design, or trying to look. I'm not going to say I'm a developer, but I tried. Yeah. Like everything and anything, events, logistics. It was.
I remember in the first interview I was talking about, we may need to go over the Philippines and I hope that's all right. How are you going to go with traveling? You're like, mate. I sometimes get called up and I've got to go traveling for a week, literally the morning of or the night before.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, great. Okay, so flights are booked. Just be in the airport at 4 a.m. be great.
And I'm like, all right, we can be fast and loose and we can be, but we are nowhere near that fast and loose.
I remember that question just being like, that's easy.
Yeah. All right, so now you're here. How's it been? You said you're 2 months, 1 weekend. How's it been?
It's been amazing, and not in a cliche way. Like it actually has.
In the way that you've been recorded and it's going to be posted on the internet kind of way?
100%.
Or?
No, just because like I feel like if I heard someone say, "Oh, it's been amazing," I would not trust it as much. But I don't know how else to describe it because the 2 months have gone like it feels like a day, and that for me is always a good sign. Like the pace at which it's moving, and just the ability to make friendships so quickly, and it feels so natural.
Yeah.
And to feel like you're contributing without forcing anything. It's just been great. Great team. Like, it genuinely is the most beautiful team in the like, it's just every colour, every personality, everything in one spot, and it just works. The Monday workshops and the Friday games just to meet everyone, it's the best.
It's funny you talk about that. We work with, like, different people in my networks and there's someone who does, like, some leadership coaching and HR consulting kind of work. She always has a go at me for our Friday afternoon game. She's like, why are you doing a 4 p.m. Meeting that everyone has to be in or a Monday morning first thing? Yeah. And I'm like, for me, it kind of works. We all get to just basically, everyone signs off at 4. And you join that meeting. If you're doing work after that, that's, you shouldn't be. So it gives us a deadline and everyone's there just kind of, enjoying our time. And we've had iterations over time. But, yeah, for me it works. And so it's good to hear it from, someone new to the team and seeing that it also works.
Just to see everyone's competitive juices fly, like, it's insane how intense it gets. Like, over music trivia.
Yes, that's right. And there's some people who are, a bit too hardcore about their competitiveness and you... Yeah,
probably me,
and me, definitely me. And so, and also, it didn't hurt your second week in.
Oh, true.
Going to talk it, yeah.
Not a bad gig. The beach every morning and evening, really nice food. We went horse riding, played golf at a private course or something. Yeah, it was pretty sick.
It was a good second week in.
Yeah, not bad.
It's not an experience that anyone else in the team has had on their second week. So,
yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, so you're doing okay.
Did Seb go?
I don't think so. He should have. He really should have, but I don't think he did. You're gonna. The funny thing is, you are gonna manage the team to clip that and send it directly to Seb just to give him a hard time. Yeah. Talking about that second week, tell me a story about your nickname. Let's tell the audience, what is your nickname? What do I call you every time?
What do you call me, or what does everyone else call me?
We'll start with everyone else.
Well, by and large, it's Poddy, Poddy. Although recently,
most people are calling you Peter.
Yeah, it switched back, and I want to put it on the record. I didn't ask for that, not directly.
Agree to disagree, but yeah, okay. You were pretty clear that you weren't as keen. You prefer Peter. And you made it very clear to a lot of people.
Yeah, fair.
But let's ignore that fact that you requested your nickname to change. It was Potty.
Poddy. So we're in Torquay at the retreat, and I was filming podcasts with most of the team, or most of the advisors, every morning and evening, and it was really good. And Trent, who I pretty much met for the first time there, called me Podcast P. Yes. And I thought that was really funny. So, Justin B-Roll put it in, Paul George... He has a podcast. They call him Podcast P. So Podcast P. I thought that was good. That was great.
Yeah, it's good.
And then in typical Phil style...
I think... Oh, okay. Yeah, go. You tell the story and I'll correct you.
I feel like we were playing the Monopoly or something.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, my first time ever playing. No mercy at all.
As we said, competitive team.
I got destroyed. Yeah. I think somewhere in there, between the Monopoly and the games, it went from Podcast P to Poddy P to Potty, and then it was either that evening or another evening it went to Potty, as in like toilet.
Okay, so this is what happened
and
from
Amy
my
as well.
my
Amy
side.
pushed for it.
This is what happened from my side. It was Potty P, in reference to Paul George, who is on the Phillies and no good, and that's my team. And then I think it was Trent who just shortened it to Potty. And you went like this, no, don't call me Potty. And then ever since you reacted like that, it's like, it has to be Potty.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And because, we say Potty quickly, people are like, is that a T or a D?
Yeah.
And then it became even funnier to call you Potty with a T.
Yeah.
But I kind of, I muffle it intentionally. So
Yeah.
it's either T's or D's.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. So, but in my head, it is kind of Potty.
Yeah.
But I like it that people think it's T, and I give you a hard time by
The lesson learned is if you get a nickname, just accept it.
accept
Embrace it, enjoy it, don't push back. Because
Yeah.
it could lead to something else.
If you were very happy with Potty P,
I was actually.
then it would have stayed there. As soon as you reacted,
That's my fault.
Look, hey, I don't want to gaslight you. Is that the right term for that?
Sure.
That thing. But it is your fault. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So you're forever named Potty.
Yeah.
By me, but I'm leaning back towards Peter or Pete.
Yeah.
Anytime I introduce you to new people, I'm like, I better be respectful because anyone who knows you for the first time is going to be like, what the heck? Even the team, the marketing team, are like, who's Potty?
Yeah. And then how do you spell it? And I was like,
We'll just leave it. So Pete. Yeah. All right, Pete, what is actually the biggest area that Skye can improve on since being here? We love, candid feedback.
No, for sure. I think, look, any company, any size, at any point, communication can always be better. It's not to say the communication here is not bad. In fact, it's better than I've ever experienced. But I think refining communication internally and then to our clients can always be improved in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
Whether it's just specific words we use or the cadence we use. Even going through some of the survey results we're seeing, some of that data there, it's really good. It's really beneficial. But yeah, I think any business can always improve on their communication.
Yeah, love it and agree. And I do have a question for you. So being, advisors and associates, we're all fairly boring, numbers-based kind of people. We like math. We like all these boring stuff.
Yeah.
Being a creative that you are, how do you go working for a business that works in a very boring space? So advisors are boring. Life insurance is the top of the tree when it comes to boring.
Yeah.
How do you go being a creative in this industry?
I think it's quite easy, to be honest.
Okay.
I think there are more creative people in the company than people sort of accept in a way. I think yourself, very creative. I think, our value, keep it fun, keep it real. Like that vibe that we have where we treat our work very seriously, and at the end of the day, what we do for our clients is of utmost importance, but we have fun doing it. We don't take ourselves seriously. So as a creative, I thrive in just coming into the office and just having fun. How do we make the insurance part more creative or fun? I think it's just playing off the demographic that we focus on. So I know Justin's not going to love this, but reducing the amount of memes, but still having that fun side to us. And I'll be honest, most people in the office have a good eye and they have their finger on the pulse of what does resonate well with our market. So it's not, I wouldn't say they're the most black and white people.
That's true. I agree with you. People attract people like themselves, and so people come to Skye because we may be slightly different and obscure, and we, what is this? This says silly sausage.
Silly sausage, yeah.
So we don't take ourselves too serious, but it is interesting to think about. As a creative, all you want to do is, live up in this head in this cloud and be super creative.
Sip my single origin coffee.
Yes, and so it's interesting coming into a fairly rigid. But to be fair, there are some points where I keep pushing you and going. Even yesterday we were talking about posting stuff on LinkedIn. I was like, why are we posting only serious stuff on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Just who cares? Poke fun at
100%.
The advisor, poke fun at me, and let's put it on
5'10" today.
Yeah, that's right. Love it. Great advice. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate your time.